So, a couple of things going on. First, in December, I did a couple of videos talking about a job that I was up for through the U.S. Court system. And um, the person, um, the person's position, there was a person in the position and they were going to be replaced in March, they will be replaced in March. And I guess the lady who had the position was retiring and she had been with the company for like 10 years or so. And the job posting went up in December and the deadline was, I believe, December 16th or 17th. And I got everything in on time. I even got invited to a holiday party, and um, I was able to meet with one of the ladies who worked in that particular division of the core system. And I called, got some information. I talked to the person who currently held the position and everything, because they were all going to be on um, they were all going to be part of the hiring process on the hiring board. So that was nearly 2 months ago now. And while the lady is leaving in March, I assumed because they put the posting up so early that they were looking to have somebody in before she left her job, um, kind of acting as a trainer. I could be wrong, but in my mind, I've kind of just decided I didn't get the position, which is fine. I understand. I'm sure there were way more qualified people. I worked with my mom and my husband for a couple of days to make my resume and cover letter really nice. I had like 3 letters of recommendation that were pretty professional. I had a performance evaluation. And I had it was like maybe 7 different documents that I had to send off when I applied for the position. And I've just assumed that I probably didn't get it. But 2 days ago, my mother contacted me, and there is a similar position available again through the U.S. Court system, and I don't know exactly what division. The position that I was applying for, the one in December, was through was pretrial services. This particular one, I'm assuming it's probably probation, but again, it wasn't very specific. So I'm not sure, but I did go ahead today and um, apply to that one. So I'm hopeful, I might hear something, I may not. This will be my third time applying for a government position. Um, and I always feel like I have a really good chance, but I also understand that there are people who are way more qualified, people with degrees, people with experience, people who know people. And while my mother works for the federal government, and I have met people through her, I have made connections at holiday parties and things like that. I That doesn't necessarily mean I have the experience needed. So I applied for that today and I'm hopeful. I did do a little bit of research to see what else was out there. I made up in my mind, as long as I can help it, I don't want to work fast food again, or even retail. I've had my share of both. And while I can do the job if needed, um, from my experience, I'm not saying every single place, but it's a very thankless job. And I've learned that when you're really good at your job, it's not so much that they're thankful, they just know you can do your job well, so now you're responsible for doing other people's work. Like my last job, I was just a cashier, and I had the ability to do so much more, but because I was good at my job, because my boss knew I was good at my job, there were often times that I was doing assistant manager duties, but as a cashier. So I wasn't good enough to be promoted to a higher position, but I was good enough to do other people's responsibilities, and they just kind of sat on their ass, or got slaps on the wrist. So that was very frustrating. But Again, I do it again if I had to, but just by choice, I don't want to. Um, so I'm looking into things that are a little better, pay a little bit more. Again, I'm not going overboard as I know that I don't have all of the qualifications. Um, but hey, you don't know unless you try. You put yourself out there and see what happens. Sometimes people are willing to hire someone with less experience, but someone who is very motivated, a fast learner, someone who is very personable.